Olá, amigos. Have you ever heard about Feijoada, Brigadeiro, or coxinha? These are very traditional Brazilian foods and you can find them in every corner over the country. Besides that, they also have interesting stories behind them. I hope you're not hungry because this video is delicious. So let's start a menu. Because I'm not a good cooker, I decided to go to a restaurant to show you how it looks like a proper feijoada. This restaurant has a countryside style, which is perfect, as we will be able to show you other typical foods from our country, like this. The name feijoada comes from its most important ingredient, feijão, which is known in English as beans. Yes, beans. Most people in Brazil think that feijoada was a dish created by the enslaved people during colonial times and that it was made from the leftovers given away by their masters, the wealthy farmers from colonial Brazil. It turns out that researchers have proved this theory is actually a bias. The most likely origin of feijoada it's from a Portuguese stew which was made with white beans instead of black and red ones as we use here, vegetables and different pieces of meat from different kinds. Because of the colonization process, it's believed that this stew, the recipe of this stew, was adapted to the Brazilian context, to the Brazilian situation, where the black and the red beans replaced the white ones. The Brazilian feijoada is made with more than just beans. It must contains also a lot of meat, especially dried meat and bratwurst, green cabbage, and oranges. These two last ingredients, green cabbage and oranges, were probably added during the 19th century. Nutritionally speaking, the vitamin C found in the orange is very effective to absorb iron that can be found in the beans. That is why I ordered an orange juice as a compliment. And our next food now is coxinha. Are you served? Coxinha is a very popular food in Brazil. It can be served as an appetizer or as a snack. Usually, every Brazilian birthday party offers coxinhas to their guests. The history behind it is still uncertain. There is an author called Nadir Cavazin that wrote a book telling that coxinha was invented by a cooker that worked for the royal family of Brazil during imperial times, which was during the 19th century, as a snack for the prince's son, which supposedly had a mental disease. It turns out that critics have said that this version has no evidence support. Another version claims that coxinha is actually an adaptation from a French kind of chicken croquette. What we do know is that coxinha is a success. It is eaten currently by most Brazilian people. It's made with a potato dough and shredded chicken stuffing. Some versions are also made with requeijão, a kind of Brazilian cream cheese. While the history of coxinha remains still unknown, let's eat it. And now, for our dessert, we have Brigadeiro. Look at this. In one of our videos, there was a moment that I say that in the past, during colonial times, sugarcane played an important role in our economy. Do you remember this? I will make a video in the future explaining furthermore how this happened. For now, I just want you to understand that lots of Brazilian desserts contains big quantities of sugar, and that is because sugar was one day our most important export asset. From this sweet tradition, one of our most famous desserts was created, Brigadeiro. Actually, the Brigadeiro candy as a candy was invented way later after colonial times, during the 20th century. In 1945, An authoritarian government called Estado Novo was falling apart in Brazil. Because Brazil was living a transition back to the democratic system, new elections needed to be held. Among the names competing for the office of Brazil's president, two of them were strangers, Eurico Gaspar Dutra and Eduardo Gomes. But how does this story relate to the invention of Brigadeiro? Well, Eduardo Gomes, one of the candidates, was a military. To be more specific, Eduardo Gomes was a brigadier, a high-ranked military in the Brazilian Air Force. During the events organized to support his campaign, they used to serve a small candy made of condensed milk and chocolate sprinkles. Because of this, people started to call this candy Brigadeiro. Crazy, huh? If you really found this video delicious, please subscribe, leave a comment, share with your friends and your enemies, and wait for the next video. See ya! Look at this. While I was recording our video, look who was here all the time behind my computer. Mrs. Butter, taking a nap.